Fear is the secret imposter that creates all sorts of gaps, holes, and cracks in your path that wouldn't ever exist without it. Boldness, on the other hand, is a wrecking force that obliterates them. Every obstacle that timidity gave birth to, audacity can easily tear through. You can learn, work, and manifest however much you want, but only when you can conquer your own fear can you create the reality you desire. Fear is a paradox. We dwell on, imply, and cling to fear in hopes of avoiding certain outcomes, yet even with all the good intentions in the world, it actually has a reverse effect. When you fear something with all your heart, you are essentially pointing your finger at this particular scenario you are so afraid of and request it in this exact form. People are often surprised how things turned out exactly how they feared them to be, putting it on bad luck and misfortune, yet they fail to realize that it's actually their fear that created it. This works on a subconscious level. Fear creates the whole chain of reactions, eventually leading to it permeating your subconscious, which directly influences your behaviors. The moment you give yourself to fear, your mind begins to create all sorts of scenarios revolving around the very thing you are trying to avoid. As you dwell more and more on those scenarios, you begin to feel the emotions coming from experiencing that unwanted state. The feeling in itself sends a direct signal to the subconscious mind and, repeated over time, transforms itself into a belief. The moment you keep feeding that belief with even more emotions, it gathers momentum and eventually transforms itself into conviction. Once you are convinced of something, your subconscious will filter out all your behaviors to match it. In this case, you will literally materialize your fear. The next time, assured that your fears were justified, it will grow all the stronger, trapping you in this cycle even deeper. The bigger the fear, the stronger the emotions, and the stronger the emotions, the greater the force of attraction. There is a reason why the phrase, "do not be afraid," was repeated in the Bible exactly 365 times, one for every single day of the year. From religious texts to mythology and folklore, fear was represented as a destructive force that paralyzes heroes, halts kings, and strips men of their riches and power. And indeed, even when everything seems to be going in your favor, fear has the capability to flip it all upside down. Entire books can be written about people whose good fortune was reversed as a result of anxiety, doubt, or simply overcautiousness. Outside of self-imposed limitations, even on a purely psychological level, fear has the capability to put all sorts of obstacles in your way. People have the sixth sense for the weakness of others, and the moment you are seen as uncertain, hesitant, or afraid, they will eat you alive on the first opportunity. Realize, fear is the root and extension of most of your misfortunes, and therefore, you shouldn't be worried about its effect, but about not letting yourself get entangled in the cause in the first place. Fear is the only thing you should be afraid of. Boldness, on the other hand, has the magic effect of removing any gaps between your current and desired reality. While fear causes you to subconsciously sabotage yourself at every turn, audacity obliterates such obstacles. What fear has placed in your way can be easily torn down through boldness. Audacity has a way of making the impossible suddenly accessible, and here's how. Contrary to fear that drags your attention from one unwanted scenario to the other, boldness allows only one possible outcome: your desired reality. Before taking action, the timid person sees all the misfortunes that can happen, subconsciously preparing for a disaster. The bold see only one path: and eventually create the mental conditions that make it inevitable. The moment your attention is fully directed to one particular possibility, your mind will enter a state of elevated emotion, resonating with this outcome being already achieved. This, contrary to mere thoughts, speaks directly to your subconscious mind, planting the idea as reality. Repeated over time, you can literally program your subconscious to accept your desired reality as the only possible outcome. In this state, everything that stands in your way is perceived merely as a stepping stone to where you eventually want to go. You no longer hesitate, doubt, or overthink. You simply know that no matter what, you will get there, and so there is no point to fear. A giant Philistine warrior named Goliath had been taunting Israel's forces for 40 days, daring anyone to fight him one-on-one. While all the soldiers stood frozen in fear, a young shepherd named David volunteered to fight. He faced Goliath, and the giant mocked him. But David said, "I come against you in the name of the Lord. Today, he will deliver you into my hands." Then David slung a single stone that struck Goliath in the head, and the giant fell flat to the ground. As with every mental condition, both fear and boldness are byproducts of where you place your attention. Every time you find yourself self-sabotaging through fear, you shouldn't be looking for a source in your timid character or some past experiences, but in a misdirected attention in the first place. When a particular wave of doubt and scarcity tries to take over, the easiest way to overcome it is to turn your attention from it and redirect it inward. But in order to be able to consciously direct your attention like that, you have to first be in a particular state of stillness. When your mind is not stimulated, free from all that noise flooding into your mind during the day, it's much easier for you to pour all your focus into the desired outcome and enter the state of elevated emotion resonating with it. It's in this moment when you can slow down, detach, and lock in. That's when you actually imprint the desired reality onto your subconscious.